They say every dog has its day. What if that day includes being homeless, hungry, and without sight? Welcome to my channel. And today we'll meet two dogs whose story will melt your heart. Alina couldn't imagine that this was just the beginning of an incredible story. She took the dog home, gave it some food and water, and hoped for the best. Soon, the dog became her shadow, following her everywhere around the house. It licked her hand as a thank you for the food and curled up next to her as if to say, "Don't ever let me go." The woman introduced herself as Maria and said that she had been watching Alina walking Gina for several days and really wanted to adopt the dog. However, the homeless dog seemed to sense its future. Happiness, Gina wagged her tail excitedly and licked Maria's hands. As it turned out, Maria also had a dog, a funny and mischievous Jack Russell Terrier named Billie Eilish. They really complement each other and make a great pair. Gina is calmer and more relaxed, while Billie Eilish is full of energy and mischief. Together, the perfect team. At first, Maria worried that the new dog wouldn't get along with the old one, but her fears were unfounded. Gina and Billie Eilish quickly became friends. Now they play together every day, go for walks, and sleep in a dog bed next to each other. Yes, it's hard to believe, but these two dogs have only one heartbeat between them. Looking into those soulful eyes, Maria couldn't resist. She took Gina home. Of course, Alina was overjoyed and immediately agreed. But the dog still had to go outside from time to time. So Alina made it a little doggy house out of a bucket and a blanket. Our story begins in Romania, where a kind woman named Alina found a skinny, hairless dog wandering along a road. Maria was surprised. The dog quickly adapted to the new conditions and showed no signs of aggression or fear. And sometimes fate just needs a little nudge in the right direction. So next time you see a stray animal on the street, please don't pass by. It may need your help. And who knows, maybe it's exactly the dog that's destined to become your friend. Although Gina is still a bit timid and scared, she really wants to please her new owner. Rain poured down in torrents, and the wind rattled the windows. Poor dog trembled with fear until Alina's son came up with a brilliant idea. He brought the dog inside and gave it a warm place by the radiator. Next to him, the dog felt safe and gradually calmed down. When the rain outside subsided, Alina took the dog for a walk, but it didn't want to go outside at all. The dog whined and hid its head under Alina's arm. One evening, however, a storm suddenly swept through the city. Then something incredible happened. The dog raised its head and licked the woman's hand. Looking into its eyes, she saw that they were cloudy and the dog couldn't see a thing. It turned out that the homeless dog wasn't just skinny and had no shelter, was also blind. Of course, Alina couldn't leave the dog in this sorry state. She took it to the vet, who confirmed that the dog was indeed blind and had been living like that for a long time. The vet also examined the dog and found out that it was a girl. So Alina named her Gina. But the kind woman wasn't going to stop there. She wanted to find Gina a new home where she would be loved and cared for. And soon, thanks to Alina's efforts, Gina got a new passport, got vaccinated, and was even sterilized. At that point, Alina had almost lost hope of finding a family for the unusual dog. After all, who would want to adopt a homeless, skinny, hairless, and blind animal? But then a miracle happened. One day, when Alina was taking Gina for a walk, a woman approached them and asked if the dog could follow her. But when Maria learned that Gina was blind, she got scared and started making excuses, saying that she had a lot of work and that it would be difficult to take care of a dog. At first, Gina sniffed everything around her cautiously, but then began to explore her new home with interest. And here comes the most touching part of the story. It's hard to say whether Gina would have survived if Alina hadn't taken her in. But now both dogs are happy and get along famously. Looking at these happy dogs, we understand once again that every living creature deserves love and care.